Good morning, my YouTube viewers. In my last video, we were talking about how to solve problems using the normal distribution, and we were talking about loaves of bread. And in this video, we're going to solve problems with the normal distribution again, but we're going to solve those problems with test scores. So that's what this particular practice problem is going to be about. So the first question we have is you're analyzing test scores for a class. The test scores are distributed with a mean of 75 and a standard deviation of 10. Find the cumulative probability that a student will score less than 85. So your mean is 75, the standard deviation is 10, and X is 85. So you want to see that a student will score less than 85. So we're going to calculate our z-score. Our z-score is X minus mean divided by standard deviation. So it's going to be 10 divided by 10 is going to be 1. And then so now we're going to calculate the probability. Probability equals stats.norm.cdfz. So stats is scipy dot stats, which is Python's scientific library, and norm is the normal distribution, and CDF is cumulative distribution function, which is a function in stats. So we're going to display the result is we're going to display the z-score and the cumulative probability that a student will score less than 85. So your z-score is 1, and your cumulative probability that a student will score less than 85 is 84.13%. So the next question we have in this regard is, what is the probability that a student scores greater than 85? And this is your survival function. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to import the library, scipy.stats as stats. Scipy is Python's scientific library. So the mean is 75, the standard deviation is 10, and X is 85. Score to calculate the survival probability for. So we calculate our z-score, which is X minus mean, which is negative 10 divided by 10, so it's going to be negative 1. And then your probability is going to be stats.norm.sfz. So this is your survival function. And then you can also say, and it's also equal to 1 minus CDF. So you can say prob CDF should be the same. So we're going to try to run it again. I've added something to it. So your z-score is 1, but I would say it would be negative 1 because it's going to be 75 minus 85 is negative 10 divided by 10. But it says here your z-score is 1. Your 1 minus cumulative distribution function probability is 0.158655. And then your probability for student scores greater than, and then we're going to say here, We're going to run it again. So it says survival function. So 1 minus CDF is 0.1587, and the survival function is 0.1587. So 1 minus CDF and the survival function give you the same results. So that's interesting, isn't it? So you can use both of those. You can use whichever one you feel the most comfortable with. So now we have a question. What is the cumulative probability that a student scores less than 70? So we're going to import scipy.stats as stats. That is your scientific library and the statistical module within the scientific library that we're going to call stats. So your mean is 75, your standard deviation is 10, and x is 70. So your cumulative, your z-score is going to be x minus mean, so that's 70 minus 75, so that's neg 5 divided by 10. So it's going to be neg 1/2, or neg 0.5. And then calculate the cumulative probability using CDF. Probability equals stats.norm.cdf z. So stats is your scientific, is scipy. Norm is a normal distribution. CDF is cumulative distribution probability, cumulative distribution function. So we're going to print the results. We're going to print the z-score, and then we're going to print the cumulative probability that a student scores less than 70. And so your z-score is neg 0.5, and your cumulative probability that a student scores less than 70 is 30.85%. And then you have what is the probability density of a score of 85. So probability density, that's your probability density function, and that's another function within statistics. So we're going to import scipy.stats as stats, so that's your scientific library and a statistical module within scipy, and we're just going to call it stats. So we're going to define our parameters as mean equals 75, standard deviation equals 10, and x equals 85. So we're going to calculate the probability density using PDF. So probability density equals stats.norm.pdf brackets x is 85, comma, loc is your mean of 75, comma, scale equals standard deviation. And then we're going to display the result of probability density of a score, and that's going to be 0.0242. So that's your PDF. So that concludes this video because we've completed all of the practice questions on test scores that I have. The next video is going to be on heights, so I hope that you decide to watch it.